him, doctors at Shaare Zedek lead the teams that go to help those who are in desperate situations. Just one of the things he's done in 42 years of working in medicine. 43 years.
No, 32.
32 years, rather, of working in medicine. In September, last month, Professor Halevy announced he'd step aside from his role as Director General at Shaare Zedek at the end of February of 2019. Dr. Ofer Merin is slated to take over in that position, effective March the 1st. Shana Tova to you, Professor Halevy. Welcome back to JM in the AM.
Tova, good to be here.
It is great to see you. Always wonderful to share time with you, especially here in Jerusalem. This has been we look at Jerusalem today, and I'm looking at a facility that has just expanded, and we see the old city, the new city. We joke about the crane being the official bird, the official bird of the state of Israel because of all the construction going on, and you are overseeing one of the most incredible medical developments in the state of Israel. It seems every time we turn around, there is another building, another department, another area that Shaare Zedek is providing to the community.
Well, thank you very much for the compliments. Yes, I think we are in a very rapid pace of development to supply the needs of Jerusalem. The people of Jerusalem is increasing by around 2% a year,
wow.
A little bit more than the state of Israel. Many new babies, most of them born at Shaare Zedek, but not only at Shaare Zedek, are added, and the population is aging. And thank God we have Aliyah to Jerusalem. So although there are 5,000 to 6,000 Israeli youngsters, mainly secular, who leave the city every year, the city still grows every year, and the demand for inpatient services and for ambulatory services from the only hospital located in the center of the city is increasing every year. And we, thanks to the generosity of friends from all over the world, but large part of them from the US, from your country, we are able to develop and to build every year. And you're right. I mean, if you look at the projects that we opened only this year, a new shopping center, a new intensive care unit, the Reisman Intensive Care Unit endowed by the Reisman family in Los Angeles, a new department of surgery that still looks for naming. And if you come to Shaare Zedek today, you will see a huge, big hole that we dug in the last 10 months in order to prepare for a large parking lot, that underground parking lot that is missing. Parking is one of our problems, and more than that, the basis of a new cancer center that will start with a radiotherapy, irradiation therapy center for oncology patients. Fortunately, heart diseases are on the decline. Unfortunately, oncological diseases are on the incline or increase in numbers. But part of it is because of early detection. Part of it is because we can treat them better and cure large percentage of them. And part of it is because of the aging of the population. So oncology, like geriatrics, is one of the disciplines in medicine that we can foresee a major increase in the next few years, and Shaare Zedek prepares itself for that. We have a very large department of geriatrics, and we are building a new cancer center.
In your capacity as Director General, there's no doubt that you have always demanded that your surgeons, doctors, etc., stay up to date, state of the art, know what's going on in their departments up to the minute, so to speak. Do you find that that's much more difficult these days with the rapid changes that continue to happen in almost every department of medicine?
No, I don't find it more difficult than years before. It has to do with a very talented young generation. It has to do with technologies that today make the knowledge in medicine much more accessible than in my time. I can only tell you as an anecdote. When I was in rounds, medical rounds with my professor, when I was a young physician in the 1970s, and we had a dilemma, seeing a patient that we were puzzled. He had constellation of symptoms that we cannot decipher and know what he has. The professor would send me to a room in the medical library where there was, on the walls, from 4 sides, Index Medicus. I had to spend hours, if not a day or two, in order to see if this constellation of symptoms was described in the literature. What does it mean? Today, the resident, with his cellular phone, will put in large spleen, large liver, biochemistry like this and this, he will come with an answer within minutes. So
Point well taken.
So the accessibility of the knowledge and also the talents that the new generation has makes it easier to be updated today than in the past.
Am I right that one of the biggest developments in eyesight and eye care just came from Shaare Zedek? Am I right about that?
Well, you're 100% right, but the words just came has to be changed to with God's help will come.
Okay.
It's in an initial stage of research. It's a new physician that we added to our staff, Ole Hadash, a new immigrant from France.
Wow.
A young physician who works now with researchers in Bar Ilan University on a substitute for glasses by putting drops on your lens.
Literally eye
they will
drops.
reflect, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
But we are very far from the practical stage, but it's a nanotechnology modality that is being developed, and we are definitely partners, Shaare Zedek.
What was Dr. Ofer Merin's reaction when he was told that he was being considered for the next Director Generalship?
Well, to say the truth, I had to convince him. Dr. Ofer Merin is a very unique individual, and I try to be a man who plans for the future. I'm now a little bit over 70. When I was 60, I asked him to join the management of Shaare Zedek 10 years ago.
Wow.
After he established a superb trauma unit in the hospital. He's a cardiac surgeon in training and in origin, and was doing open heart operation until recently. But he established our trauma unit that saved the lives of hundreds of severely wounded in the terror activities and motor vehicle accidents in Jerusalem. I saw over 10 years ago his managerial abilities, his personality, his integrity, his leadership as the commander of the field hospital that you mentioned in your opening remarks. I was a Nochschlepper with him to Nepal, but he is a real commander. He's a colonel in the army, in reserve. And I saw his leadership abilities and especially his personality, and I asked him to join the management. And we worked together. He is my deputy for the last 10 years. Except the 2 weeks in Nepal where he was my commander. And when I planned my semi-retirement, because I will remain as a co-director and a part of the management, but I wanted the day-to-day responsibility to take someone who really will continue what I see as my life project and the life project of many of my colleagues. He was the natural choice, and he hesitated a lot if to leave his career as a surgeon and to concentrate on managing the hospital. He doesn't want to give up in the next few years his reserve service as the commander of the field hospital, which is okay. I also had a lot of extracurricular activity in my 31, 32 years tenure. And yes, he agreed, and I'm very glad about it. And the board, the International Board of Directors of Shaare Zedek, voted him unanimously as the next director just in Hoshana Rabbah a few days ago.
Very nice. A great brand new year for him. Professor Halevy, it's no secret that when we're in Jerusalem especially, but it happens other times as well, I try to convey messages of Aliyah and bridging the gap between Israel and the diaspora to the best of my ability for my audience. We know about the North American donors and the impact they've had on Shaare Zedek. What have North American medical personnel, what type of impact have they had on Shaare Zedek?
Tremendous. You know that the most sought after medical title in Israel is GIA. I'm sure you know what GIA is.
What is it?
Gewein in America. So first and foremost, all of us, including myself, I spent 35 years ago, 2 years at Yale University. We have great hakarat hatov to American medicine, because most of the senior physicians in Israel in general and in Shaare Zedek in particular spend 2 to 3 years in the forming stage of their careers doing fellowships in the U.S. I think academic medicine in the U.S. is high level. I believe clinical medicine in Israel is not inferior, if not superior, to the one in America. But when you're talking research and academic medicine and training physicians, academicians, the U.S. is definitely a leader. And I would say that out of our 900 physicians at Shaare Zedek, 250 are residents, so they haven't been there far. From the senior physician, most of them spent a period of fellowship in the United States. I have a lot of hakarat hatov. I was the beneficiary of a prestigious Fogarty fellowship back in the 80s, early 80s, 83 to 85, that enabled me to spend 2 years at Yale University to do a fellowship in gastroenterology with emphasis on liver diseases. It serves me till today, and I am not sure if the board of Shaare Zedek that interviewed me 32 years ago, composed mainly of Americans, if I did not have Yale in my record, I'm not sure I would be here today. That's first. Second, as you said, most of our donors come from the US, and the late Ludwig Jesselson established a fund that enabled cooperation for decades between Einstein Medical School and Shaare Zedek, exchanging residents, exchanging fellowship, exchanging lecturers. So this is another donation. And the third one, the contribution of American Jewry and American medicine to Shaare Zedek, manually. Jerusalem is attractive for especially Orthodox, modern Orthodox physicians, and other medical personnel. They come here, and many of them are integrated to Shaare Zedek.
So great medical personnel in the U.S., there is room for them still in Israel. They should explore the possibility of coming here to work and to live.
Of course, I believe that every Zionist physician should come here, and he will have, if he's good, he will have a position.
Can't thank you enough, Professor Halevy. I guarantee you one thing: we will not be visiting your hospital this time around. Okay. We're staying away. We're not overturning any department this time.
I don't feel threatened. You're always welcome.
Thank you so much. There he is,
Bye-bye.
Professor Jonathan Halevy, Director General of Shaare Zedek Medical Center in Jerusalem.